when you were putting together the story, most of us feel that we know to a certain degree Emmit Till's story, and by extension, Mamie's story, but we learned so much here. So for you as creatives putting together her story, what are aspects of her life that you learned about through this process that you were unfamiliar with that was exciting for you to share with the audience?
Before the producers approached me about this film, I had never heard of Dr. T.R.M. Howard or the community of Mound Bayou. And I was really saddened by that. And I think that Dr. T.R.M. Howard is an unsung hero of the civil rights movement, and he deserves a movie on his own right, but that was one of the biggest like things that blew my mind. It's like, oh my God, and the community of Mound Bayou, the history of Mound Bayou. And so, and also I learned so much about Mamie. I mean, there's so many of us think we know the story, but most of us don't know about who Mamie was and her very specific, incredible journey after her son's lynching, and who she was in the private versus the public, and who Emmit was, because he's often relegated to a black and white image of a lynched body, but he was a person. And so I learned a lot about who he was and who Mamie was, and the ecosystem that surrounded them, that included the community of Mound Bayou and Dr. T.R.M. Howard, and learning more about Murley and Medgar beyond, the kind of like highlights that were sometimes not always taught in history classes.
And for me, Jill, it's maybe a shock to everyone. I didn't know that much about Mother Mobley like I thought I did. I knew the elder, the most wiser, the elder Mamie Till Mobley. I didn't know the 33-year-old woman that Danielle brilliantly plays in the film. And so for me, it was an emotional journey for myself, rediscovering my mentor. And so I thought I knew her. I mean, we talked about her journey. I have tapes and tapes with her, talking to me about her journey. But, getting it on page was quite a struggle for me at first. And that was because I didn't know the woman that I thought I knew. So I had to re-educate myself about this woman. And I keep saying 33 years old because I don't think people realize between the death of her son and the trial of 1955, it was within 30 days. She had to deal with all of this within a 30-day window. And so again, 33 years old, I could have never imagined being in a position like that, anyone being in a position right now. And so it was rediscovery for me. And it was emotional because, remember, I knew the woman. And so it made me understand her a lot more, and made things clear in terms of the decisions, the calculated, let me be clear, the calculated decisions that was made by her.